Hey everybody. Welcome, Brandon. Good to see you
What's
again,
up?
brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you too, man. Just cleaning up. I did a lot of, New Year was a while ago and I had a couple days off and when once Luke went back to school, I said, I had the Christmas tree down, I had all the decorations down, but once Luke went back to school, I was like, I'm gonna clean. I'm gonna do a deep clean, you know.
Yeah.
Um, Not that it was like a disgusting filth, garbage dump, but there's stuff, there's just stuff. And he got so much stuff for Christmas. I was like, let's go through his closet. So I did, and I was cleaning and I was finding some stuff. And then I went through my closet and I was like, okay, what like and some things I found that I had forgotten about, of course. And some of the things I found I forgot about, I was glad that I found them. I'm a big physical media movie collector,
Yeah.
and bought like three Blu-ray steelbooks um, before Christmas, and for some reason or another, I didn't put them on my shelf. They ended up in my closet under a bunch of clothes I was going to donate. Thank God I didn't donate my movies,
Yeah.
and so I found them, and I was like, man, and it got me thinking about things you miss. And I'm not talking about family matter, families or what pets. I'm talking about, do you miss it or are you glad it's gone? You know what I mean? Let me give you an example. Do you miss cash? Not from your bank account.
Do I miss cash?
Do you miss being able to just use cash for everything?
Uh, I do because there are places that you go that I open up my wallet and take out a bill and they say we don't take cash.
I do too, man.
What one is a lot of sports venues now don't take cash. You want to buy a bottle of water, for a few bucks and everything, you got to use a credit card.
I miss it. I miss cash. I miss being able. Well, number one, I'm better with cash than I am with plastic. Um, it's tangible. I can see it, but I miss it, man. I miss being able to be like $10 on pump 10. I miss being able to be like, let me go to the bar. How much is that tab? Oh, 30, boom. And then like on the tipping aspect, I always try to bring cash anyway to tip as opposed to the card because companies be robbing these employees. But I miss having the cash, man. I miss having cash.
Eh, I have a feeling that one of the reasons why you're not seeing it is because today's young clerks wouldn't know how to give change if they had to.
That's not the reason. We know the reason why.
Well, but I mean, it costs. There's a fee to accept. That's why I think when you get a bottle of something at a venue and you have to give them a credit card, it's costing them, what is it, 3% of the sale to process
Absolutely.
that?
So they charge you.
Well, they charge more for it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
all a consumer credit
yeah,
card
yeah.
tracking your money. That's why. But I do miss cash. I miss cash. And you know what else I miss in all this streaming service? And I know what people are going to say, and I'm going to tell them to shut up. But I miss all in all the streaming services. Do you miss weekly shows where you watched an episode and you're like, oh, I can't wait till next week, and you came together at the same time, whether it be with you, your friends, your loved ones, and
You're right.
watch it?
Yeah, yeah. But now today, what you do is you record it and then you watch it at a later time.
Who's
Uh,
recording? I would know. All jokes aside,
yeah.
who's recording? Nobody's recording nowadays.
Well, ours is a favorites. You put in that, like, for instance, sometimes we like to watch Chicago Fire and Chicago PD every Wednesday at 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Those two shows we like to and it's kind of get a bowl of popcorn or whatever and sit and every week and you watch. But then you got a meeting one week and so now you tag it. on the TV. So you go back and now you're watching the show on Thursday or Friday or Saturday.
So
Uh,
I like that I like that certain shows come out weekly. For example,
yeah,
I watched the show Fallout, season 2 Fallout on Amazon Prime. That is an every Sunday show.
yeah.
That it airs. I could watch it on Monday, but I can't. It forces me not to binge watch.
Right, yes, yeah. We're doing that with Landman.
Landman,
Landman is
Landman, excellent show.
yeah.
Um,
A new show drops every Sunday. Matlock is another one. You know, they're you so you want to if you miss 2 weeks, so now you sit down and you watch the two episodes
I
that you
like
missed.
I like that. I miss that on a regular basis.
Yeah,
I wish more shows would do that. You know what I mean?
yeah. You know what else I miss?
Hmm.
I miss going out to the post box, the mailbox, and coming back and opening up an envelope that's got a letter in it, a handwritten letter from a relative or a friend. Nobody handwrites anything anymore. It's all text or emails because
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
shortcut.
Mostly the letters I get are collection. So
Yeah. I mean, but even those aren't. Well, if they're handwritten, then you're in real trouble.
yeah, yeah. Then they start sending people to your house, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I guess I miss that. I never really I do miss that because I like writing. Yeah, I guess I miss that. I miss that. I
And I
miss
also miss when I was a teenager going. You probably did it when you were young, going to record stores to preview records or discs or whatever. You could go into a booth and you could listen to it a few cuts from an album and then decide to buy the album.
Well,
You know,
that's what's so great about, I was getting to that. Some of these things are like, records, vinyl, those are huge. Those are coming back. The collections there. I go to record store day almost every year. I got a couple local record stores I go to. You can still do that there, believe it or not. You can
yeah.
create. But yeah, I do miss that. Do you miss I mean, do you miss the way that you buy? Do you prefer to buy concert tickets the way you do now or back in the day when you had to wait in line?
I didn't mind waiting in line, or you could even go to the ticket office a week or two in advance, walk up and they would talk to you and say, "Here," and you pick the seats that you want, and
Yes,
it's not like it's a $20 seat that they're charging $85 for now.
I agree. And you knew the total. You knew the total. It wasn't a gamble. It was like we used to go to Harmony House in back in Michigan, and we would buy tickets at Harmony House, and they would go on sale. We'd go and get there early, and we'd be first in line. Sometimes I spent the night in me and my buddy Ken spent the night in my Chrysler K car. Okay, you know, and in the middle of December in Michigan, because we didn't wait outside because it was snowing to get Prince tickets. I was number 2 in line
Wow.
because a guy beat me there, mostly because I couldn't get out of the car quick enough. We got our Prince tickets. Could you imagine now doing that online? You're waiting on your computer. I know because I've done this. Get the ticket, hit yes, fee, 30, 40, 50, 60. That 30, 40, $50 ticket is 120 now.
Right.
I'm going to buy the tickets. I think they should have both options, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, or every once in a while, I will see something that will say tickets go on sale next Tuesday. So I make a note of it, and Tuesday morning, when the box office is 8 o'clock, I go online, and it says pick your own seats, and you go in there and you see that section A is completely sold out already because it was pre-sold whatever, or somebody bought
Yep.
the whole section up because they're going to resell them.
Resell them. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Here's one do you miss? I got two. Do you miss pagers, beepers?
Well, but isn't your phone a pager now?
That's why I'm asking. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I agree.
Basically, it is because your phone. If somebody wants is trying to get you, you can set up a specific tone for that to go off on your phone.
If you weren't a drug dealer or a doctor, there was no reason for you to have a pager. I had a pager. I was neither, but I played around with some of them. So,
Yeah. Well, the thing I don't miss about that was that back in those days when you had a pager, your pager would go off and you'd say, "Oh, I gotta go make a phone call," and you'd have to leave wherever you are to go to find a phone to call whoever was paging you.
we used to page each other in school to get each other out of class.
Yeah. Yeah. It's my mother. My aunt must have died again.
We had a good friend, and we looked very similar. We looked like we could be related. We told everybody for years, teachers, principals, that we were married. We came up with this big elaborate story why we had different last names. And so he would knock on, yeah, it got to the point where he didn't have to page me anymore. He'd just come to fifth hour, knock on the door and be like, "Hey, I got to go. I got a situation at home." And they're like, "Oh, okay. We understand." And I just leave school. But I don't miss pagers. Do you miss house phones?
Miss House calls?
No, house phones, like landlines.
Um, I did for a long time because when my mother-in-law was still alive, she had a landline and so she would call a few times during the day. And so we had a landline up until about probably 3, 4 years ago. And then we finally got rid of it.
Do you miss it now, though?
Well, I don't now because I have my phone in my pocket all the time. It's always with me. But Lauren can be in one end of the house and she hears her phone go off in the other end of the house, where you used to have five phones in the house, so you just pick up the receiver from whatever room was convenient.
Yeah, I
But
don't
the
miss.
but the maintenance, you had the cords everywhere, and you had it was took something else that took up space on the end table or on the kitchen counter or whatever. I don't miss that.
I don't miss. I don't miss the landline. I haven't had a landline in. I don't even, dude. Probably since I was 17,
Oh,
18.
well, that's a long time. See,
Yeah.
we had
Well,
we had
let's calm down.
landline up until
Let's calm down. It's not that long. Okay, let's chill.
well a generation or so ago.
But no, like when my first apartment, when I moved out, I was at 17. I had a cell phone. It wasn't as cool of a cell phone as it is now, but I had a cell phone. And it was a Verizon, Motorola, something, and they charged you per text. But
Right.
uh, I haven't had one since then, so I don't miss it. My parents finally got rid of theirs, um, and theirs was just awful service, and I would call them on their landline and be in the middle of it, and disconnect. I call back and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm done with this. I'm not even calling you anymore." So,
We
um,
we were on the road around Christmas time. Went to visit my sister in the Midwest, and we stopped in a little town just to get a bite to eat on the way. And we walk in, and there is a phone booth in this little cafe. And I looked at Lauren. I said, "When was the last time you saw a phone booth?" And it was not just for show. It was an operating phone booth, and you actually had to put a quarter in it to make a phone call.
there's a funny thing. So at HEB off of 380 and 423 Frisco 2 by the gas station, there is a payphone.
Really?
And it's funny. I don't because like that's new HEB. It's only a year old. I'm like, why did they build this payphone here? But when you go to it, you pick it up. There's no service, nothing connected. It's just this. I'm like, is this an Instagram photo op or like? It's weird, but yeah. So I don't know. I don't know.
I do wish that they did have phone booths available now. Because you know what they would make excellent recording studios.
I would do it.
Now I would get one. They're compact. You just soundproof them and everything, and you got a perfect setup for doing podcasts like this.
There's this house on the way to downtown McKinney. I forgot what street it's on, but it's literally in walking distance from downtown McKinney. In their front yard at the corner, they have an OG style London phone booth. I call it the English Superman
Right,
changer.
right, right.
There's no phone in there. I don't know what it's there for. Next time I drive by, I'm going to go inside of it. Um, but I don't know if it's just decoration or maybe their mailbox is in there. But because at first I thought it was a business, and I'm like, dude, that's somebody's residence, and I'm like, I need to go there and just find out.
When they started closing up phone booths and everything, a lot of people were buying up old phone booths if they lived in rural areas because they put it out on the street so the kids could stand in the phone booth until the school bus came to pick them up. If it was raining or snowing or something like that, it was a shelter.
Do you miss the mall? And I know it's crazy because malls exist, but do you
Yep.
miss it or can you do without it?
Uh, I mean, I miss it because it was compact. Everything was there. You could shop, you could get something to eat. They usually had a movie theater, and everything was in one place. Now you've got strip centers everywhere, and also you actually have to travel a little bit between them. But hey, back in the 70s when the regional malls became the thing, that was my career. We had stores in five different shopping centers.
I I miss it's funny because in one aspect, like I said, I know there are malls out there.
Yeah,
I miss the mall that I grew up with, but I can skip the malls now for the most part. I miss, like you said, it was an experience. I used to go hang out there on a weekly basis.
sure.
Sometimes you'd have money to go shop. Sometimes you'd have X amount of money. You're just killing a couple hours to go see a movie, but it was an environment. It was a feel. Now, very corporatized. Even like the good malls that you can still walk around in, it's so expensive. Like it's so crazy expensive. Like even to buy a pretzel. So for me, I can pass. If I go to a mall once a year, I'm surprised.
Well, and also when you go back to the early days of the malls, those malls were independently owned and operated shops.
Yeah.
They were the ones that were taken from Main Street downtown and put into the regional malls. Today, when you go into a mall, they're almost a carbon copy of the next mall. It's only the national retail chains and everything that can afford the space in those malls. And then the first stores that go out are usually the anchor stores, the big ones, the J.C. Penney, the Sears, the we, the Dillards, all of those. They go out, and that puts a hurt on the rest of the people, the smaller shops too.
I agree. I'm going to mention a restaurant,
Yeah.
and then I want you to tell me a restaurant that you thought was great, but you're okay that they're not around anymore. Confusing, right?
Yeah.
Um, I miss Big Boy. I
Big
don't know.
boy.
Usually they're Midwest. Um,
Frisch's Big Boy. That was one of the chains.
oh, was it? I
Yeah.
was Eli's Brothers Big Boy.
Yeah.
I miss it. Triple decker grilled cheese, 99-cent coffee. Actually, I think it was 79-cent coffee, all you could drink, best coffee out there. It was like a diner that was really more than a diner. I love Big Boys, but
Yeah.
here's a place that I used to think was cool that I don't like, and I'm glad it's gone just because, no offense to anybody out there, Bennigan's. I never understood Bennigan's. To me, I remember going there being like, wow, it's kind of like this bar. I'm in these
Yep.
giants, and then they're serving popcorn at like in the beginning. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. It's kind of like Fridays, but it's also this
Right.
like,
That
so
was but I think that was the basic concept back then was to take that eatery, take that Denny's and all, and now put alcohol in it
yeah.
and
It
all.
did
So so now you're reaching two different audiences, people that are just coming in for a hamburger or a hot dog or something, but you also got the beer drinkers that'll say, and then they started to put in the jukeboxes right on the counter so you could
Right on.
play the music from there, or games, little gaming devices they'd put on the bar so you could now drink in it. But Bennigan's fell by the wayside too.
I,
Lums was another one like
I
that.
it was one I thought was cool, and then I look back on it and I go, man, that was never really cool. It just was new. So I'm kind of glad they're around. Is there a restaurant that you used to go to that you're like, yeah, I'm good. I don't go there anymore. I don't like it anymore, or whatever?
I'm not. I kind of fell out of favor with Red Lobster.
Man,
Uh,
yeah,
it just became and another one was Kentucky Fried Chicken.
I agree. I'll go to Popeyes.
Yeah, but I mean,
Popeyes.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, they were the foundation. They were the ones that started it all, and then everybody else got on the bandwagon, and there were too many other versions of it. And also now when you go back, it's not the same.
I miss the old days of when these chain restaurants were still cool. Like Fridays. Fridays was a party because it was open till like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, yeah,
Best Long Island iced teas, and we're talking 90s,
yeah.
well, yeah, late 90s, early 2000s. Best Long Island iced teas, $8 get you wasted, and great apps. And it was like cool. Now, if you find a Fridays, it's usually in an airport, or it's just not the same,
And you
man.
go
It's,
and you go to a kiosk, and it's a self-serve. You plug in what you're going to order, and then you go up to the counter to pick up your order.
yeah. So there are a lot of things out there that I miss. And then there's some things I'm like, yeah, I'm glad it's gone. Like, clear Pepsi. I'm glad that left. That thing was garbage. It tasted like ethanol, you know? That was the worst idea ever. Probably the downfall of humanity was clear Pepsi. Um,
But
so I'm
now,
glad.
now you got Pepsi Zero, and you got Pepsi Free, and you got Pepsi this and Pepsi that, and you got cherry Pepsi and lemon Pepsi, and
Just disgusting. So gross.
but
Anyway,
uh, anyway, yeah, you're absolutely right. There's a lot of things that you miss, but because that was part of your childhood, that was part of your growing up, and if you find it now, like I mentioned earlier, a malt. Not milkshakes, but a
hey,
malt shop where
malts.
uh, you just can't find that unless you go to an old town square that's still got an old fashioned diner and they're still making them.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
I like malts. There was a place in Michigan off of Grand River used to do malts, and it was delicious. Now it's a bar, so whatever. But Grand River, Grand River back in Michigan. Sorry,
But it's still delicious.
still delicious. I got plenty of that bar used to do this thing. It had a wheel, and you pay $2 to spin the wheel. That's it. Whatever it landed on is what you got.
Oh, really?
I could had some rough shots, but then sometimes you'd be like any drink of your choice or free appetizer, which still I'd probably taste the rough shot over the free appetizer. But it was fun. Anyway, that's another
If you
conversation.
resurrected something like that, it might fly today.
Yeah, I know I would do it. But anyway,
Well, it's always fun to think back and remember that kind of stuff. So, if there's stuff that you miss or you don't miss it all anymore, drop us a note. Let us know what it is. We'll share it with the audience.
absolutely, guys,
Uh,
and make sure you come back next week,
You
8
got it.
a.m. Talk. Follow us on Spotify, YouTube, and TikTok.
There you go. Bye.